How have y'all been doing? Happy almost eclipse. These energies have been absolutely exciting for me. Very intense, of course. I'm always having excitement and intensities, but it definitely has been some surfing, some fluxing, and some flowing going. So the newsletter that I usually release on the 1st, I just ended up releasing it. And honestly, I had to allow myself the time to really integrate because there's so much like biological, molecular changes going on right now that I feel to every last detail and drip drop and atom. So for me to kind of slow down and be able to interpret the energies that I'm getting and be most grounded, say that I needed the time to really ground, and I'm going to need even more time to ground throughout this whole season. I'm learning that with my energy, as intense as it is, rather than rushing to meet everyone else's deadline, I am a generator, I believe, or a manifesting generator, but I think of a generator. So I'm going to go with what I feel. And if I don't feel ready to do something, I'm not going to do it, because in my eyes, with my Virgo midheaven, the more prepared I am, the better. The more ready I am, the better. And of course, that can have a shadow too with me procrastinating certain things, or not feeling confident enough in something or ready enough to pursue something. But everything, it all matters on the circumstance, the situation, and the perspective. So perspective, it's the biggest. I think perspective is a really big thing right. Perspective right now is really altering people's current reality experience. And it really depends. And I know I've talked about this. I know people want to hear me shut up about shadow work, but it's the season for it. So I'll shut up after this. I'll shut up when the nodes are out of Taurus and Scorpio, okay? Then I can shut up. But this is my time to really shine and speak about shadow work and the perspective of this time that we're going in right now, and the different perspectives of the times, and how our shadow work can alter our perception or perspective on our current experience. Meaning, if we're like used to shadow work, if we've been doing our shadow work, this time should not be so difficult for you because you've been doing the work. You've been doing it. But if you have not been doing your work, you've been really putting it off, really avoiding it, doing everything but diving in within and checking yourself right now is probably quite chaotic for you, because it's all hitting at once. That's Scorpio energy, is transmutation, transformation, evolution at the biological molecular level. Forced. Not really forced, but it's just like we're in a time when we go through Scorpio season, everybody is affected by the energy, whether you're a Scorpio or not. I'm just here to help interpret the energy so you guys don't go bonkers, so you guys know what's going on inside of you is quite astronomically beautiful and really intense to the biological level. You're literally changing, shifting, shedding layers of yourself. We are literally the snake in the moment of the snake shedding its skin, and that's not easy. It takes time. We can't just rip off the skin. We have to slowly, gracefully ease. We have to be slow and graceful with our changes and not rush or push ourselves, especially right now, because these are emotional, alchemical times we are pushing through. Emotion, water holds memory, a lot of past life things, trauma that we've stuffed, anything we've repressed. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter, which comes out once a month, I definitely recommend it for this season especially. There's a lot of potent information in there talking about alchemy, water, element, and what that governs as far as the subconscious and actual element of water and what that represents in this here reality on earth, as well as the unknown and the shadow and so much more. Really, I'm just making this video to kind of touch around the points that I talked about a little bit deeper, but also talk about some other things too. First, I want to bring up the fact that Libra season is right before Scorpio season. And Libra season is the balance, right? The scales. It rules the scales of justice, fairness, and truly the equilibrium of true balance within. And that is because before we go to Scorpio season, which is the evolution, the transformation, the transmutation, we want to make sure our energy is balanced and sifted before it all goes in a process. When you start learning about astrology and you learn about the zodiac wheel and each function of the wheel, you'll see how it all works together. But Libra season is before Scorpio season, the balance before the evolution. So if we have not attained what we're supposed to in Libra season, which is balancing, and we push things to the side or we swept things under the rug, Scorpio season rips it out and says, oh, no, you get your tail out here. We're looking at this. We're dealing. We've already talked about extremes of spectrum in another video, but I've also talked a lot more in depth about it in the newsletter. Something about Scorpio ruling the unconscious, the underworld thoughts, the unknown, the unseen forces that we can't see around us that affect us, meaning good or bad. Remember, intensity. So it can be really harmful radioactivity. It could be really crappy water that is not serving our bodies and really like holding back our evolutionary process because we're not getting that pure, clean water for our body to be hydrated, live water for our body to be hydrated with. And it also can be angelic forces and love beings and frequencies that are love and higher coming in. Forces that we can't see, basically, meaning good or bad. Also the subconscious. I talk a lot about this in the newsletter, but water energy is subconscious realm, meaning we are all connected by this interwoven fabric, even though we can't see it, and everything is energy. So something, even though I'm right here, right now, something across the street, it's still going to energetically affect me. Maybe not as powerful as the people in the same space, but it still will have some type of effect on me. So keeping an eye out, and like if our third eye is not open, focusing on opening the third eye slowly, gracefully, easily, not forcing anything, so that we can clear the vision, so that we can have more perception of what these unseen forces do for us or against us. Very important. Yeah, we can't see this with the naked eye in this human body, most of us, unless we have gifts or have developed our gifts, which many of us have gifts that are underdeveloped or not developed yet. Just saying. Most of us are psychic naturally. It's just a skill that is. So that also is a little bit about water and the element of water, meaning it's all connected. It's like one big body of water, and how water just is an energy that takes on the shape of its container with no choice, really. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about the energy of people of Scorpio and grudge holding, or I like to say holding memory. Water holds memory. Our waters that have been on this earth have the codes and the memory from years and decades ago, from when there was first water on this planet. That's water on this planet now currently still holds those codes and those memories. So I want y'all to understand that when we say Scorpio holds grudges or never gets over anything, Scorpio quite literally cannot forget it. So it's different for other people who can easily just forget and they don't naturally imprint. And imprinting basically meaning like a brand. When something happens to Scorpio or water signs, but most definitely Scorpio, it's like an imprint in our soul and our mind and our body. And even if we do forgive, which is very common, we never forget because we quite literally cannot. It's always programmed in us. And this is a lesson. Scorpios teach people to be kind and to not judge by a book by its cover. That is the role of the grudge, of the venom, of the stinger. It is quite literally to teach people lessons, very valuable life lessons. Even if Scorpio has to show up in an ugly way of stinging, Scorpio will still reveal the truth no matter what, because that is the role of Scorpio, is to just be in truth, also to reveal truth, secrets, and to hold them as well. It's that venom, it's that power of knowledge. Something I know with myself, it's like I have a Pisces moon, but I'm very, very much Scorpio. And I don't forgive people easily. I get hurt. I'm very, very sensitive, always have been very sensitive. And I usually know if I like someone in the first 10 minutes of me talking to them for the most part. So, and when I hold a grudge, it's because I've been deeply hurt by someone that I have extended a lot of love and heart to. And that is a lot of effort for me and a lot of devotion, and I don't give that to everybody. So when I have poured so much love and care, attention, nurturing to something, and it's not appreciated or it's taken advantage of, I have no choice but to mirror that energy back to you. And it may be, it's not holding a grudge in my opinion, it's just holding memory. And with Scorpio can have the shadow to act on that and get vengeful and seek revenge, or they can learn lessons and release pain, which is very hard for Scorpio to do naturally. That's why they rule also like earth catastrophe, such as volcanoes, tsunamis, earthquakes. And this is just because of the pressure of energy that has been just like piling up and eventually just pure explosion to cause something new in the ripple of energy, some destruction, some destroying, to bring in some restructuring and some resurrection, which brings me to the death and the rebirth, which is all what Scorpio is about, the whole phase of death and ancestors, even the death realm, the realm of the non-living. Scorpio rules it all. So the unseen, again, those unseen forces also. So Scorpio knows that death is a natural part of life. And even though a lot of people like are fearful of the topic of death, or like understanding that it's inevitable for all of us, Scorpio gladly accepts that death is a natural part of life, and very much honors death and the concept of death. And not only just physical death, but a lot of the time Scorpio energy is representing alchemical deaths. Energies dying, paradigms dying, traditions dying, and new things coming in. That's why Kali, the goddess Kali, the dark goddess Kali, a lot is associated with Scorpio energy, because she's that goddess of destruction and rebirth. I will gut it before the new can come in, because it needs to happen. We cannot have this new beautiful vibrant frequency here with this low ass, one's got to go, and it's got to be this one. That's the energy of Scorpio. Yeah, those dark parts of the psyche, death and shadow and, insecurities, repressed emotions. Scorpio rules all that stuff, and that's not the only thing. It's like we got to know that stuff so we can turn a leaf into the higher. And that is the pure role of Scorpio, is to learn how to get in that phoenix stage of, I have birthed through my shit and I no longer have that shit limiting me, and I'm my goldest, brightest, most just clear, pure self that I could ever display. That is the pure goal of Scorpio, but it's hard work. We know Scorpio is one of the most intense, powerful signs, and it's because of all that sexual, creational energy that it houses, and understanding death and rebirth, resurrection is not an easy thing. Really be willing to step into the unknown just a little bit. Scorpio rules the unknown, taboo, what you think is weird or what you judge. Usually if you're judging it, why are you judging it if you know nothing about it? Maybe you want to learn a little bit about it. Step into the unknown a little bit to bring in expansion and to expand your consciousness, if that is what you're seeking, Also allowing good to happen and not stepping in our own way because of fear or lack. A big thing with Scorpio is the need to constantly nurture other people's wounds and suck in other people's pain so that they don't feel them, and they suck in other people's poison. And something I really want to express, especially to water signs, is not doing that as much as at all. People pleasing. It's hard for me. I say that to myself. Always reminding myself that, but honestly, I love to help people. I love to help people. It's a part of my purpose. And I don't feel like myself or like I'm fulfilling my purpose if I'm not helping people. So as much as I tell myself, don't people please, take care of yourself, it would be a disservice to myself to stop serving people, period. I could never do that. I just learn how to put my boundaries up and do what I feel comfortable with doing and not to overdo that so that I feel drained. Because I need to make sure that I'm taken care of as well. Because most of the times the people that are taking care of so many people, they usually do not have other people there holding them up and taking care of them like they take care of others. So I have to make sure that I replenish my energy and I'm not completely draining myself for others and being a doormat regardless of whatever the circumstance, because I'm important, I value myself, and I want to be healthy. With that being said, and talking about being healthy, the darkest part of our psyche right now, I feel, is under a magnifying glass, and this is collectively. We are all going through certain individual things that affect our psyche, and each of us have different things that bring in different energies for our psyche, whether it be good or bad. And what may trigger one person may not trigger another person. So it's really, this is why self-care is so important right now. We don't know what anyone is going through right now, and we don't know what trauma anyone has gone through. So if you don't have nothing nice to say to anyone right now, mind your business, which is a little bit me. I gotta mind my business right now because I can be so amped up and I can spew venom out. And I've gotten to the level and the point in my Scorpio evolution that I can shut my trap. So yeah, it's so funny. My friend, beautiful Mesa, she is a Cancer with a lot of fire placements, but I love her so much. She sends me always these random cutesy messages. She's like, it was a forward message. Partial eclipse begins at 4:09 a.m., reaching totality at 5:16, maximum at 5:59, and lasting until 6:41, and partially ending at 7:49 a.m. Sunrise is at 6:59, moonset is at 7:05. This is Eastern time. Happy portaling. Remember, knees bent, weight on balls of your feet, ready position. Don't get caught flat-footed, and don't let Kali Ma sneak up on your ego. She's about it on blood moon eclipses. So not only Scorpio with the Taurus, it's a blood moon eclipse. So lots of stuff going on right now. We're in the thick of it, if you will. And, it's all fucking beautiful in the chaos of this universe. Yeah, y'all, be on your toes and check that ego. The thing with Scorpio energy is like, I know I'm the shit, but at the same time, I'm so not confident. But at the same time, I know my ego and how to check my ego. And I know when my ego is like getting ahead of me and claiming more of a selfish space and not defending my position, rather. Because I don't think the ego is necessarily bad. And I don't think we need to completely rid ourselves of our ego. Our ego is there of healthy sense of identity and knowing ourselves and our individuality. We need that. We're not all the same. We're not. We don't all have the same body types. We don't all have the same blood type. Each person needs different things, and that's okay. But it's coming to the point of egotism, putting the self above the collective in a way that harms the collective, if that makes sense. The darkness is where the seedling goes through its most like evolutionary process. The darkness of the womb is where the deepest evolutionary progressive process happens, and creation process happens when a literal child is incubating inside of a woman's womb and her body is forming and shaping with this baby, and not only providing for herself anymore, but also providing for a child. That's the space of womb energy. That's the space of darkness, the creation. We don't know exactly what's going on, but we hope it's going well. And how do we do that? We love people well. People who are loved well love others well. People who are loved terribly love others terribly. It's a like attraction situation. So also sex is kind of all over the place. It's because I did bullet points, and I just wanted to do a video run through of what came to mind, because I'm still pouring in things, and I'll probably have more updates shortly. But I wanted to get what's here with me now. And potent. Also, the newsletter, very good place to start. And I also included some other people's videos, current videos right now that I weave with. Sex alchemy and using sex as a divine tool. All right, we know everyone calls Scorpio the sex freaks, and it's not because we're sex obsessed. It's because we rule the reproductive organs and we rule the elimination organs. So we rule the part of the body that reproduces. That's creative energy. That's reproducing energy. So we are obsessed with it, of course, reproduction and sex and the art of reproduction and the art of sex. Really, it's not about sex, it's about creation. We really care deeply, wholesomely about creation and the process of creation. I remember when I first started freelance modeling, and when I would write to these people, it would always be about the process of the creation happening, because my heart is so deep in the process of creation and all factors of that process and creation. The lights, the music, the food, what clothes am I wearing, what scent do I have on, what is my hair like, is it my makeup gonna leave marks on his white, does he have white sheets, you know? Just, it's an alchemy and an art to Scorpio sex. It's not in the shadow. Yeah, it can get really ugly, really demonic, really vampiric. But in the light, Scorpio is complete, just beautiful, Shakti, transmutation, releasing energy that is so powerful and potent. This is not the lust frequency. This is not the glamour frequency. This is pure sensuality, pure divine feminine art. Sacred prostitute energy, sacred Venusian prophecy energy, okay? And I just want to get that clear, because I'm tired. Like, it's like, yeah, I like sex, but do you know why? Do you know why? It's one of the most powerful tools we have here in the human body to exchange our life force with another being. To lay with another being is so life-changing, energetically changing, whether you realize it or not. When you lay with someone, you mix energies. Your energy becomes intertwined. You exchange life force. You exchange your energies, all of them. That being said, the energies are raveling right now. We got hormones going up. We got a lot of sex demons running about. A lot of leaking of sexual energy. Hold on to your shit. Take it from me. I've been through bouts of like sacred whore, unrespectable whore, respectful, nun, celibacy. And I can say now that I've been through all these beautiful stages of experimenting with my sexual energy and my sacredness and my life force, to protect your dang body, protect your mind, protect your womb, protect your genitals, okay? Know what you lay with before you lay with it. I don't care how good it looks, my love, the glamour of the just meeting the physical eye. What does that soul say? Does that soul stink? As my mom would say, their soul stinks. You need to make sure the people you lay with are people. You want to know that the energy that you're mixing with, you want to make sure that that is energy that you don't mind taking on and harboring within your body. Okay? Again, the darkness, getting to the source of the matter or the source of creation. That's Scorpio. Like, how many veils do we got to rip off for y'all to see whatever it is in your life that needs clarity? That's what's happening right now, is all the veils are being lifted. And it's good. It's happening through the divine. And it may seem ugly. It may come through like hurting the ego. Like, hey, I didn't want to see it like that. Well, you know what? The universe pushed that through so that you can get to the next step. Because maybe that wasn't actually for you and your ego was happy, but your soul wasn't really happy. So getting to the source of the matter. The source, the true, complete source, the center, and the trueness of it with zero filters. That's what we're doing with Scorpio season. Getting to the meat. Brings me to my next point of exchanging energy. The one word that's been like deep in my head, and I always say this word for fun because it's a funny word to say, mycelium. Mycelium. If you haven't watched Fantastic Fungi, it's now on Netflix. Please watch it with Paul Stamets. It's all about the fungi network and the fungi world and mushrooms and the beauty of mushrooms, and not just psychedelic mushrooms, but the naturalness of fungi in general and how like magical it is as just a species. So mycelium is the interconnected network of all nature underneath the ground. So all that white stuff that you see when you pull up moss or pull up something from the ground, it's like nerves connecting underneath all of the fungus, all of the trees, all of the plants. They're all interconnected and all communicating with each other. So that's what's really cool to think about, because it interconnects everything, and it just shows like everything is connected in nature. And that video, the movie, does a really beautiful job of depicting how it is like literal nerves in the ground and in the soil, connecting all of plant life together and fungi life together, so that they are communicating in this like beautiful divine symphony of nature. It's quite beautiful. So yeah, the mycelium, interconnectedness of us all. We are all in this together. Everything we do affects another person. It's a cycle: death, rebirth. When something dies, usually there's things that grow from that death, regardless if it's a physical death or a plant or decomposition. Think about decomposing. Naturally, it decomposes, it processes, and then it uses what's good from that decomposition to create new life. It's not easy. Resurrection, like I said, is extreme. Also, want to talk a little bit about the shadows, because yeah, it's Scorpio season, so we have intensities of good, light and dark, positive and negative. I want to talk about parasitic systems and programs. Meaning things and systems that make us feed off of other people's misery, pain, hurt, okay? So when you are gaining from another person's downfall or pain, hurt, suffering, and it's not in a way that's like they're bearing that and they're feeling through that and they're gonna come out uplifted, but you literally are making value off of someone's devalue. That's a parasitic system. It's a parasitic program. And this is what we're moving away from within humanity, is feeding off of low vibration. When this force or this energy came about on this planet, but there is a very parasitic energy about the matrix that has to do with feeding off of other people's unhappiness. And if we see someone more unhappy than us or doing less than us, we feel more valuable and we feel better in ourselves. And I don't understand that, because we're all different. We all have different collections of experience, and we all have different needs and things that make us feel important, wealthy, successful. So comparing is the devil at the end of the day. But really just making sure that what we're feeding off of, where our energy comes from, is a pure source of energy, not a parasitic source of energy. And this isn't saying we can't use each other, because naturally as humans we're supposed to use each other and benefit from each other. But when it's devaluing someone and you're making money or you're making energy off of devaluing someone else, that act is vampiric and it's parasitic, and that does not need to be on this planet anymore. There's no reason for people to need to gain from other people's misery. It's an outdated old paradigm, and it honestly never needed to be here. So yeah, checking ourselves and our system and our self-worth programs. We got Taurus. This is a Taurus eclipse, y'all. Taurus is all about self-work, all about the pure foundation, and all about Venus, all about beauty, all about luxury, all about pleasure and the senses and delving into that. And really, the Scorpio is really going to help ground that in the presence and the mixing and the meshing, because Scorpio has no bounds, but Taurus has bounds. So it's going to be like meshing and teaching each other. It's really beautiful. They're opposite energies, so it's going to be a little bit ruffling. Next topic is all about Scorpio, is all about self-discovery, self-development, self-empowerment, and self-embodiment. Scorpio is all about soul searching. It's what is my birth chart? What's my life path number? What's my numerology? What's my gene keys? What is my makeup here? What is my name, the meaning behind my name? You know, little things like this that help us dive into ourself for self-identity reasons, for purposeful reasons, which is the ego, which is healthy. That's a healthy dose of ego, is knowing my purpose and my place here on this planet. It's not egotistical to talk or know about your birth chart or to know your birth numbers or to know your gene keys. That's just you being self-aware, which a lot of this planet would do a lot better if a lot more of us were actually self-aware instead of being aware of everybody else. If we were aware of ourselves, can you imagine the gold that we would create? Come on. Scorpio also rules the truth, the pure essence of the truth, the deep, dark truth, all right? So what is truth to us? This is a time to really identify what is truth to us, and do we accept or understand truth? And do we skew truth? And is truth, because a lot of what's happening right now is a lot of people don't want to hear the truth because it's not comfortable for them. It doesn't suit what they want to hear, doesn't make them feel good. And, you know, they're like, oh, I actually don't want to listen to that. I would rather listen to this, which is way more delusional, but it sounds a lot better. So I will go with that one as my truth. And it's not the real truth. And it's people literally going against source. It's like literally going against God. And I hate to say it in that way, but it's like truth is God. So if you're going against truth, you're going against God. Okay, if you don't believe in God, because I just say God is truth and truth is God. I use those words interchangeably. So however you want to view it, you know, pure, truth, source, God, love, all the same thing to me. So making sure our ideals and our perceptions of love, truth, and God are kind of like all aligned and not all over the place. Really like checking in with ourselves in our own truth. And are we living in our truth? Are we living authentically? Are we living from an authentic place that feels aligned and authentic, and we don't feel heavy pressure when we live every day because we're not living a life that we don't want to live? Because if you are, you're not living your truth and you're not living in your most authentic vibration. And there is some shadow work to be done. It is time to look at why you are not living the life that you want to live, or at least working towards it. The thing with Scorpio is they're very self-governed. I know since I was little, I never liked people telling me what to do, even kind of my own parents, because I felt like I was independent and mature enough to govern myself, and I could know right from wrong. And I understand not everyone does, and everyone's right and wrong is a little bit different. But I want to talk about sovereign energy and being sovereign beings and owning our own being and owning our energy, and knowing when we're like selling out or selling our soul or not owning our energy fully. And that is going to take a lot of discernment. Okay? A lot of us still are in systems where our parents give us money, or our house is in our parents' name, or like certain things are in other people's power. So we feel we have to work under those people to appease the current belongings or material, whatever gains you've had for that. You have to show a certain level of respect, but also kind of give your power away. And not all of this is bad. It can be, you know, family has inheritances. Scorpio also rules the house of house 8, shared finances, wills, inheritance, stuff like that. But also this can be very dangerous when it comes to, can also be super dangerous in regards to if someone, you know, you have a house in someone's name or something's a will, and they always hold it above your head, and it's not healthy energy exchange. And then you feel like you have to sell a part of yourself, or just like do things that you don't mean, certain status or certain material or certain wealth. And, you know, those are the type of things that keep you not sovereign, and you're not self-governed in those ways. You're not. If you feel like you have to kiss someone's ass every single time for getting something, that is not living in your sovereign beingness as a individual here on planet Earth. And it's definitely time to start looking at how we can start taking our power back and owning our own energy. And it starts with realizing you can do it. You can do it alone. You just have to put the energy towards looking for new resources and separating yourself from the unhealthy machines, basically. So yes, also just the energy of crumbling old empire and rebuilding a new empire. You know, I've seen this for a while. I have had these visions. I have had visions of New Earth rebuild for a long time now. But the most potent physical thing for me was last year in January. It was my first ceremony with grandmother or ayahuasca, and I physically felt like I was dying and giving birth at the same time. It was the most crazy feeling. Like I was even crab walking. I probably looked crazy to whoever was around me, but that overall feeling, I just knew. It's like, yeah, girl, you gotta birth this new earth on through. And the whole flow of it, it's like there's no stopping, and it's like getting stuck in certain ways. It's because it's a collective thing. We are literally putting death to an old archaic system that has kept us enslaved, kept us unhealthy, kept us sick, kept us divided, kept us separated, kept us so unhealthy, so blocked off from our naturalness and our natural source and our natural direct connection to God. We are killing that system, and we are birthing through the pure love, the Venetian energy again on this planet. Getting a lot of, it's just like a lot of mixing new technology with old ancient technology, and also modern technology, rebirthing new structures with our old systems that have been long lost, but also mixing it with this new technology. I used to be really, like, I love technology. I've been on the internet since I can remember, very young. It was like my first friend learning how to use a computer and learning everything about a computer. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Still do. Internet, computer, so awesome. Very cool. Helps me learn a lot about myself as well, and humans in general. But I really just wanted to bring notice to our technology and how fast it is changing, and to remember to do not let the technology use you, but allow this technology to serve you in the ways that it is supposed to, because we are supposed to have these new tools to use to aid us in this. I used to pick up books on transhumanism, and my hand would literally like give out. I'd be so scared of the transhumanism agenda. I still do. It still gives me the heebie-jeebies, because it's all about false light, and it's all about false representation, false God, not real, not pure. There's just something about not real, not pure, not natural to me that I am not a fan of. Okay, so yeah, just being able to understand that technology is our friend, and it also can be a downfall if we allow it. So making sure that we stay in our present, and we have control over our bodies and our minds and our hearts and our spirits, and we take breaks, and we use technology only for what it is good for, and not allow it to use us and harvest our energy, if that makes sense. Super big thing that I wanted to talk about that is now coming back to me. For the longest time, I felt like maybe the past year, maybe more. Honestly, I don't remember. But I feel like the magic in my life was lost. And I've always been a person to like be a light in a dark room. No matter what, I'm gonna bring up the energy. That's my job. But the magic in my life has been so dimmed, and I didn't understand why. And this season, this Scorpio season, so much magic, wisdom, alchemy, mysticism is being resurrected in my life. And, you know, I'm so thankful, because for me personally, magic is hope in a way. It's my faith. So the fact that I didn't have magic around me, or like I wasn't becoming inspired, I didn't think that I didn't have hope. I didn't have faith. It felt like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. And I always am a person to be like a creatrix and create a way no matter what. But for me to feel like the magic is lost in my life is big, because that is everything to me. The ability to create my reality with anything. And of course, it is a mind limitation, right? The magic wasn't away from me. I was just blocked and shut off and had a lot of veils around me. I'm gonna get a little deep and honest right now. I believe 2020, something really happened to me where I just took on this frequency that was so heavy. And it might just be a collective like fear frequency, but this frequency really like changed my outlook. I feel like I've had a low-key depression ever since 2020, COVID. And because of this heavy energy and fear and disruption, and although I do my work and I stay as high vibe as I possibly can, I always am going to see the lowest spectrum as well, not just the highest. So that's why a lot of the times you see me, I'm in deep thought, or I'm in melancholy, because I'm not only feeling this awesomeness, I'm feeling this shit as well. That is the space of transmutation, figuring out how I can not feel this shitty way and transmute it into this like amazing way. Like, what is that midpoint, and what work do I need to do in order to kind of like bring this to here, or disperse it and turn it into light, you know? So a lot of that, I'm always processing the lowest vibrations that we have on this planet: rape, fear, scarcity, shame. I'm processing those emotions and those feelings and those realms and those frequencies, and how to understand them, but also how to transmute them into higher vibration, so that you no longer feel the shame, but that transmutes into confidence, or, you know, something similar, or of a higher frequency. So, yes. I just want also to just remind you guys to, if you notice you're having creative block, or you're not inspired, and you know you're feeling depressed, do new things, seek out new circles, do the things that you love, that make you happy, and never stop learning, never stop pushing yourself to do things that are creative or that make you lost in the moment or in the present. That is the magic. That's where the magic is at. The magic is in the imagination. The magic is in the creativity. The magic is in the present moment, and what we do with every present moment. That is the magic, and the faith that we hold, and the hope that we hold and share and inspire other people with. That is the magic, and the spark of magic happening right there in the present. Also wanted to bring up the fact that we are going through so much quantum leaping right now. It's literally like we're going over timelines, parallels, paradigms, traveling, okay, soulfully, quantum leaping individually and collectively. And it's literally like so much, like at the speed of light. That's why we're spinning. That's why we're getting sick. That's why shit's going crazy. Because we are literally spinning out and quantum leaping into our next level. And we're embodying so much light. It's pushing through our system and pushing all the density and low vibration out. However it's coming out. Tears, anger, puking, going number 2, fucking detoxing, crying, however it needs to come out and purge out so the new can come in. That's what's happening. Why self-care is so important right now, because your body, the biology is going through a lot. So when you get home from work, run yourself a bath, cook yourself a wholesome meal, have a juice, detox a bit, have some tea, sit down with yourself, put your feet in a foot bath, go get a pedicure, book a reading with somebody. You can book one with me. The code TRANSMUTE gets you 35% off now on any reading or bath salts if you just want something to kind of soak in with your body and help clean your aura. Code is TRANSMUTE, angelalchemyhealing.com/store if you would like, if you're interested. But really, take your emotional care into consideration right now. Spend time in nature. Get in the bath. Get in a hot shower if you don't have a bath. Go get a pedicure. Do something kind. So if that stuff is too light and you're looking for a deeply transformative quantum leap of a healing journey, I highly recommend doing combo. I highly recommend plant medicine and animal medicine at this time, as these medicines are gifted to us to help us shift, to help us remove density from our lives physically, our past lives, our energetic fields, so that we can get rid of blockages. Because we all have blockages. It's natural, okay? Get your herbs on. Get your supplements on. Take care of your earthly vessel, my love. Although we may not feel all identified with this earthly vessel, I'm one of them. I've had to learn a lot how to work with her and what she needs to feel like satisfied and satiated and healthy in this form on this planet. Take care of yourself. It's important. Last thing I kind of want to touch base on is feminine energy and the feminine, sacred feminine within all of us, the divine feminine energy, the mother energy on this planet and within us and in our lives, and how we work with the sacred feminine, how we respect it, or how. Yeah, speaking from the divine feminine, if you guys don't know, I have like 9 placements in Scorpio, so I'm gonna speak from my truth, and maybe that will help others kind of reflect. Really what's been coming up for me has been how, as a woman, I don't feel safe on this planet. I haven't felt safe, but really not being okay with the fact that I don't feel safe, because I want to have children, you know, and I feel like I can't have children and birth children in a place where I don't even feel safe. So it's a problem for me to not feel safe. It's a problem because I realize if I don't feel safe, how many other women don't feel safe? Because I'm a pretty tough person. So what other people that have been through less than me don't feel safe? Yes, I've been through a lot of karma, or not karma, but karma. I've been through a lot of abusive situations with men and women. A lot of men, though. And that makes me always hyper conscious. It's always in the back of my mind. If there's a man next to me or behind me, I'm always checking, double checking. If there's a woman over there and there's a man like right next to her and they look like they're strangers, I'm always watching. That's like a paranoia now in my mind as a woman that I have like built within me, is the fact that I can't feel safe unless I dress like a homeless person and like dress myself down so I look shitty so people don't find me attractive and see me as a target. And just feeling safe to be a woman on planet Earth is not easy. And that's a fucking problem to me. It's a problem. Yeah, so I need y'all to understand women's energy as a gift not a entitlement. You don't get to claim it, men, you know. You don't get to own it just because it's a woman and it's beautiful and it's over there. Just leave it alone like a flower blooming in her grace and her beauty. Don't pick it because you think it's beautiful and you want to harvest it for yourself, okay? Share that beauty with others and appreciate it and walk the fuck on by. Let her continue blooming and growing, okay? Let the feminine blossom. If you want your lady to be sexy, wet, horny, loving, let her be free. Let her be and blossom and flow. And women, if you want your men to respect you, you got to be able to claim that ability to flow and grow and blossom. Okay? Don't submit all. Natural, like feminine, yin energy is to receive, yang energy is to give or to like output energy. Yin is like input and receiving energy. So if we don't like what we're receiving from our women, we need to change what we're giving them. So maybe give them more orgasms, maybe give them more compliments, maybe try cleaning up or cooking for them once in a while. Maybe help them with something that they usually do on their own, but would like really be a help for them. Book them a day at the spa, book them a pedicure. Do something nice to honor and appreciate the feminine women in your life, or the feminine energy in your life, however that comes through. Honor it because it is so very valuable, especially right now in a time where we're trying to really like strip, manipulate, distort the natural feminine, the natural mother, the pure mother. Honor her. Energy of feminine being super submissive all the time and should be seen and not heard. No, it's about knowing when to use our energy and being discerning with our energy and our power. It's not about being seen and not heard. It's about speaking when the time is needed and right, and no one can say that but us. You don't get to tell me not to speak. Sorry, because my opinion, my view, my light, my perspective is needed. We need all the perspectives. We need every ethnicity, every country's perspective, every gender's perspective, every sexual orientation's perspective, so we can be truly about equality and understanding all spectrums and all scope of the circle. We need to be able to be one understanding to the. No one gets to silence anyone here, okay? Everyone is allowed to express their pain, their hurt, their sadness if they want to. No one gets silenced. No one gets censored. Freedom of speech, right? That's like a cosmic law. Fuck the fucking Constitution or whatever the fuck. I live by cosmic law. I live by fucking universal law. That's what governs my life, is universal law. What right as an energetic cosmic being, citizen here on earth, occupying this body in this time space, why do I get to tell you to not speak, or vice versa, or whatever? No more filtering. It's no more filtering the truth, okay? The truth is going to be felt, seen, heard, displayed, showcased, whatever it needs to be to get to the hearts of all. It's going to happen, and it's happening, and I'm so happy. The awakening happening right now. So I went in here. I hope this is not too much. I hope it wasn't all over the place. I just went on my bullet points and tried to channel in with you the pureness of the moment, of the now, which is all Scorpio is ever about, is the present conundrum that is currently happening. Check out the newsletter if you haven't signed up. AngelAlchemyHealing.com. Just go down to where it says subscribe and get email updates and enter your email and you'll get the email. It's once a month. I might send 2 this month just because there's so much going on and that I'm filtering through, and I like to educate and I like to share information and I like to weave. It's my job, okay? So if you're interested in that, just go ahead and you can either message me, but the fastest way is to sign up on the website. There's a lot more in the newsletter that I go into, a lot more in depth. There's graphics where you can get pictures. There's a bigger discount code every month. Yes, my loves, and please, please, before I forget, if one thing in this video that you get, please stay hydrated. Drink water. Water is so purifying, so cleansing to the system, and literally helps you go through things. Helps the flow. Helps the stagnancy move, and helps the flow continue and be consistent. Okay? I love you so much. The universe loves you so much. You're so divinely guided, so divinely fucking positioned. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Don't question it. Don't overthink it. Don't go into panic attacks. It's okay if you do. Take a hot bath. Take a vacation. Sit out in nature. Get muddy. Cry in the rain. Get in touch with nature, boo-boo. Because you are nature, and I promise you, it'll feel better. It'll feel so much better than self-sabotaging. Whatever you do this Scorpio season, please don't self-sabotage. Please, please don't. Please don't. Because I'm doing my best, and I'm doing pretty good. So I hope you guys are too. Much rather us taking like amazing salt baths together that nourish our skin, make our skin soft, and clear out our auras. That sounds like a way better plan. Very easy to get into self-sabotaging mode and bad mode this Scorpio season. Naughty mode, meaning the shit that you do that you wake up the next morning being like, why did I do that? Don't do that stuff. That stuff is the stuff I'm talking about. Don't do it. Take a bath. Meditate, shake your ass, go dancing, drink water, all these amazing things you could do besides self-sabotage, okay? That's what you should do, is make a list of the things. When you think about self-sabotaging or going back to a negative habit, have a list ready of positive things that you can do in place of it. That's a really good idea. I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys soon. I hope this was helpful. Lots of love, lots of protection. Own your energy, protect yourself. So just a shameless plug. It's a really good time to get a reading right now. If you are one of the people that are going crazy and you've never gotten a birth chart reading before, please take up the offer of 35% off with the code TRANSMUTE, or sign up for the newsletter and get an even bigger discount. I really don't care. I just want you to dive into yourself so you can know what's going on within you, so you can start addressing, internalizing, centering, and clearing out the things that are holding you back from being your best possible version in this life. That's all I want, is for you to be your happiest, for you to be living in from your most joyful, heartful space ever. That's all I care about, literally. So if you've never gotten a reading, I also do tarot readings. If you're just wanting to dive in with tarot and the divine, let's do that. I do pendulums as well, if you want to do like a yes or no questions. But really the meat of the sandwich, I feel like, is like astrology and tarot, but definitely more astrology.